through web.
Well, I don't have
What a dumb
What a
idea.
loser.
Oh!
Yeah, that's right. Let's get that guy.
Whoever he is. I'm going to be honest. I forgot what we said we were recording.
Pizza.
Okay.
Wait,
I'd
what are
be
we
down.
recording?
I don't know.
Oh, the comics that Murray didn't read.
Oh, we're doing the review. Okay.
Don't worry. I'll get my update from you guys, and I'll look. I need to get my iPad.
All right. I did read. This may be the first time in us doing this that I fully read each comic. I don't know if that says more about the quality of the comics we picked or if it says more about my standard slipping.
I don't think so. I think it's neither. I think we didn't include a Future State comic, and that helped.
Oh, you're right. We didn't. Yeah. So my interest didn't fall off after the story changed.
Yes. And I think what happens is the first one you read sets the tone for the others that are coming.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you read a Future State first, because you just want to get it out of the way, you kind of, the other comics are like, oh, this is a long one. I'm going to just kind of page turn through it.
We did have a long comic.
I actually included that one for Murray.
Which one?
Interesting.
I'm looking at all three.
I can't remember which one was the long one, but I do know
Generations Forged.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So it's a little bit of a weird storyline.
Mm-hmm.
It's all the greatest moments in DC.
It's looking like some pretty bad moments, Marcel. I see Batman getting crippled, Supergirl dying,
Superman dying, Steel.
Yeah, Steel. I'm here now. That's what he says.
Celestial as Green Lantern. So it's all these crazy moments. All kind of, what if all these people came together out of those crazy moments?
That's cool.
Because none of these moments exist in the current universe.
Right. Yeah, I'm pulling them up right now so I can look. Okay. Yes, I remember all of the comics now.
Okay, is there anything we need to discuss before we jump into this madness?
Ooh.
I'm taking a break from comics. From getting
Is that why you're collecting micro machines now?
Yes. and hero clicks.
Okay.
But other than the new ones every week that I'll be buying, I'm not buying back issues for 3 months.
Okay. Well, you've got a lot to sort through.
Yes. Yeah. I have to do a lot of organization.
Is that the reason?
Behind me, no two series are comics are next to each other.
Oh man!
So those are all mixed up.
So they're like all DC, but they're all
exactly
jumbled. Okay,
and Marvel's like that, and Independence like that too. So
can I try and convince someone that I need a vaccine so I can come help you with comics?
Oh man, you have to convince them that you're over 65 and your name's John Ennis.
I mean, my back hurts all the time. Does that? They're like, no, that's just fat. Like you're just fat. I'm like, oh darn, isn't that 60?
I thought
I'm over 65 pounds.
I'm well over 65 pounds. I figured it's easier to cut my hair and look thinner than it is to be thinner.
You cut your hair.
It worked.
Yeah.
Mine's cut too. Now it's it doesn't go down like past my nose anymore. It's all short.
I don't know.
Yep, we all know what that's like.
Murray, you cut your hair. It's great.
I know you can't tell because of these nice headphones, but
Murray just got those headphones because it makes him look like a pilot.
It does a little bit.
My new headphones come today. I'm excited.
What'd you get?
Oh, what'd you go with?
Good questions.
When they show up, I'll let you know.
I went with Sennheiser monitor in the ear, like musician headphones.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
Interesting.
That seal in the ear cavity.
It's cool.
I think these are Sennheiser.
Yes. Yeah, they are.
I was going to say the logo looks right.
They are.
Yeah. I didn't know if you could see the logo. Yeah. Yeah, in-ear Sennheiser. That's going to be a nice one.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it wasn't that expensive. It was like $100. So it's just this now. The charging port is pretty broken. So
I get, because we have the same set. I get mine is starting to do that, but it's not severe. It's not like if I wiggle my head, it does the noise, and then it's like charging, not charging, charging.
Yeah, that's where mine's at. So
I like pretty well pull away from the cable to
get that.
to get that.
All right, I'm gonna try do a better job at.
Great idea.
Finally. No, we're kidding.
How do I
speak for yourself? Oh,
yes, I will.
Interesting.
Let's look at that. Okay, let me pull that up too.
I try to set this up so that like I can look at you and the comics and kind of look like I'm looking at the camera.
That's a good idea.
Which is very difficult.
Yeah. It's whatever.
There we go. Okay, so where are we going first? X-Men. All right.
We'll do X-Men first. So starting next week, I'm gonna try change the entire setup so that we can do like trailer reviews. We can do movie reviews if we want to do that. So it'll be a different setup starting next week.
Nice.
So X-Men. So the reason why I picked this one was that we haven't done an X-Men comic yet.
Correct.
There's a large X-Men fandom, and we also know a good amount of the characters with X-Men because we have history with them.
True, which is hilarious because on this cover, I had no idea I had no idea who 2 out of 3 of these people were.
Yes, you knew X-23.
X-23, I knew. When she said the name of one of the other ones later, I was like, okay, I know who you are, but I think it's the pale person that I was like, I have no idea.
He's white.
Yeah. Yeah.
Toby racist, Rob. I feel
not this time.
I agree with you. I think X-Men is not our childhood X-Men anymore.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like it. But what I love is you look at this and go, okay, I'm not gonna, follow this, but I'll look at it. And then you open the comic and you instantly kind of go, okay, I see where they're at. Like I recognize this. This is just in the future.
Yeah, it puts you exactly in the timeline, like coming in cold. You like know exactly when this happened. Yeah,
it's kind of neat.
I thought there's a lot of subtleties in this for the Sentinels with their Superman badge. There's kind of like they threw out the foliage and stuff, and you see them, or foliage, as some people say. I say foliage because that's the future we're gonna enjoy.
Because it foils your plans.
Yeah. Yes. So,
see, this is what confused me the most. That first panel, it's like Darwin, Wolverine, and me, and I'm like, okay, well, I know those 2 names. Who are you?
Yeah,
you know who Darwin is?
Yeah.
Wow, Rob, you've been reading too many comics.
That also tells me that you haven't watched the X-Men movies that.
No, I haven't. I haven't.
Darwin's in the first one.
I need to watch that entire saga.
I was trying to find out where I could watch Dark Phoenix recently.
I will show you where you can watch it.
All right, sweet. But yeah, I know. Yeah, surprisingly, I knew who Darwin was.
Okay. But you didn't know who me was.
Correct. And I still don't remember the name of him. Something I thought was interesting about this comic. It's the first comic I've read where X-23 is Wolverine, right? She's kind of taken up that moniker. I say moniker like this is a 1920s comic. Taking up the Monica
from Friends.
Like she's still like this could be Wolverine. If you took away the fact that like there's long hair there, this could
There's
still
a
be
couple
the same.
other things that are there too, Rob.
Well,
but-
I'm talking about just take the head. It's still like the same like gritty style that they kind of like
Yes.
draw
do you
Wolverine
think it's this?
in.
Do you think it's the same helmet and mask, and she's just like, oh, every time, oh, my
it would
sense of smell.
Right.
I
I think
hope
it would
she'd
smell
wash
too
it.
bad if it was. You can't
But yeah,
watch something that rigid.
It's got the Wolverine, scowl.
Practice.
I'm actually happy that she kept the whole look.
Yeah.
Because I think that because he didn't know who she was and she didn't know that she was his daughter. And they thought she was an experiment from Weapon X. So I'm kind of happy that she kept it because it shows that she like isn't against her father.
Sure. She kind of has an appreciation of where she came from.
Logan's balls.
Yep. That's what her license plate says.
Her license to kill.
So I was really confused as to why like this guy was like, oh, I'm gonna change my face into things.
Projector face man.
And then Darwin's like, yeah, me too. Let's both have weird faces.
So Darwin's power is to mimic, yeah?
It's something like he can adapt to any situation. Like his body and physiology will adapt to any situation. And then that guy's power, whatever his name is, I still don't remember. He can have the same power of anyone in his vicinity. He can pick people and take their power.
And he chose to do this?
Yeah, he was like, oh,
I'm gonna be a magnifying
Darwin,
glass.
I want to be a telescope when I grow up.
I want to be a video game controller.
He's like, I want to be a Mad Catz controller.
with hand coolers.
Exactly, that's what you needed.
Those were the best.
I knew you were gonna say that. They were the noisiest if you used them.
Sink. His name is Sink.
Sink.
No, that's just the name that Wolverine's claws make, Rob.
There he is, yelling his name in the background.
Sink's in the scene too.
So I guess her claws make the same sound,
Yeah.
even though there's only two of them. I guess that makes sense.
What I question is the entire need for this panel. How do I feel about that? Shink, I feel pretty good.
I mean, wouldn't you take a whole page of your comic to say that you feel good? And look at X-23. So they all go down the elevator together.
Oh, there. This is Sink.
Yeah.
Sending into the vault.
I kind of want to go back and see where this, like, how they got here. Or like,
I know
how they
you
got
will,
to this
Rob.
point.
I know you will.
I probably will. I didn't understand what was going on.
So this
here.
bundle of wires, perhaps a bad guy, also wants to conceal his identity.
Yeah, I
No,
knew
no,
that
this-
the bundle of wires felt he needed a mask.
This is a sentinel.
The bundle of wires, Marcel.
It's a sentinel, a sentient sentinel.
Okay,
That's why it's
and
like
he has
scan complete.
he has a
subject
waifu.
screen.
He d-
He's like, and this is my body pillow.
This is what Scarlet Witch turns into. The
Yeah,
witches,
there we go.
The witch's leggings. Then a house falls on top of her.
So it seems like the Sentinel is like, okay, I'm inspecting you for something. Because like all of these, I think are supposed to be the Sentinel
Yes.
thinking or talking.
The sentinel sentient.
Yeah, it is his sentience sentening all over this page. Here's him sentieing a lot.
In complete sentences.
And then he's like, you failed my tests, and she's like, I'm mad about that for some reason.
Right. So she belongs with the sentinel, rather.
Okay.
But I don't think he's gonna welcome her back for some reason.
Yeah. Seems like he's like, no, I don't like you anymore.
And she's definitely a robot.
Yes. And these people are definitely mutants or of some kind.
You got Ghost Rider, of course. You know, you have
probably.
It might be Cosmic Rider.
I think they call him. Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Oh. Ghost Rider became someone new.
I feel like it has a fiery name. Okay, Wolverine's like, bah!
You have Whole Man,
Circle Man,
Big Chest.
Which one is that? The guy or the girl?
Neither of these two girls are big chested.
So it's the guy.
I take it back.
Yeah, got it.
Who is this flushy guy?
He fooshes?
Yeah, he fooshes. Mr. Foosh.
Oh man, I only kind of remember how this ended. Yeah, okay.
So does Wolverine, the girl Wolverine, have the same kind of gruff attitude as Wolverine? It's the way they draw her
off.
Yeah. I mean, what else is she gonna do? Think about it.
I thought she was gonna talk about what good fashion choices she's made.
And recently, and for what Murray's question, recently I hadn't seen Logan, but I decided to watch like some of the fighting clips on like YouTube. Yeah, well, let me tell you this: even as a little girl, they portray her as just about as gruff and violent as Wolverine, like easily.
What number is this? This is number 17.
Yes. 18.
18. Wow, almost typed to the wrong thing.
Oh, I hate it when that happens.
I'm trying to figure out who the characters. Wow, there's so many people making art for this thing now. Here we go. Volume 5. Okay, so these are Children of the Vault, is what they go by.
Okay.
Fuego. That's his name.
So it is similar to Flume.
It is very similar. So he burns. I can't remember if he burns the dude who takes powers.
Okay, so this character here is Serafina. I know you wanted to know that.
Okay.
The circle dude is Sangre. Piero is the guy with the big chest. And Murray's favorite is Aguya.
She's like Bubbles and Buttercup put together.
Right. Sync, Wolverine, and Darwin. Wild Master Mold. Oh wow. Okay, so that thing with the as you guys put it, cables going through its head.
Is the pile of cables.
It's called Wild Master Mold, and it is a massive Sentinel, like 30 times bigger than a regular Sentinel.
Okay, so Master Mold is a giant Sentinel, like 3 times bigger than a Sentinel, but I've never seen him as a pile of cables. So this must be, at some point where he lost that physical body.
Yeah.
Master Mold to me is the broken down one we saw
in the beginning.
Yeah.
All right. We have Bubble Boy.
And my only reference for that is the 90s cartoon show.
Right.
Master Mold.
He is way bigger in this comic, apparently, than the cartoon.
Wow.
Okay, so lots of destruction, kill the whole town.
And that's it.
Yeah, this Bubbles chick is super powerful.
She died. She died doing that.
Oh, wow.
So too powerful is what I'm hearing.
Yes. It's Spanish for needle. I guess they're all Spanish.
Sure.
Okay.
They did. I mean, I guess so. I mean, they said this was South America in the beginning of the comic. So maybe they all, I don't know, grew up around there. So they all ended up
Rob,
with like
quit trying to
Spanish
make
names.
sense of this.
And then Master Mold was here at the beginning.
They were in Ecuador, I guess, at the Wild Sentinel factory.
It doesn't seem that wild.
Well, I guess
Other
that's
than
where
them-
Master Mold would be.
Yeah.
I mean,
Other than
he is kind of the
fighting-
factory.
Wow.
All right. Thoughts?
How many pages was this? Is there a
24, I think.
Oh, okay, it's a little longer than I thought. It went by pretty fast, just kind of thumbing through it. I was kind of reading the bubbles as we were going through.
Bubble?
Yeah, the little bubble. Because sometimes it's like, through this comic, there's a lot of narration, it seems.
Yes.
And so
Yeah.
I didn't really get what was going on exactly. But I think, as part of a middle of the story comic, it's probably fine to fill in some gaps. I don't know that it made me interested to go back and read more. But I think if you're already invested, this is probably a fine story.
Yeah, I think the only thing I even remotely wanted to go back and look is just like, don't understand why we're here.
Mhm.
Yes.
Like, why did these three come here? And I didn't feel like in just reading the one comic, other than we're gonna go here, and then we ended up fighting these guys.
Right. It's
I
very
didn't
much
understand.
a middle of the story adventure.
Yeah.
They're on
Yes.
a mission, they break in, you're not really sure who's what because we haven't been reading the rest.
But I did feel like because of the narrative, it was pretty easy to pick up and kind of understand what was going on midway.
I really liked the art style. Can I
Yeah.
just comment on that? Like,
Yes.
Yeah.
they sometimes really give these artists a rough time. I liked this art style a lot. I didn't look to see who did it, but I would probably be a fan of theirs.
Written by Jonathan Hickman, art by Mahmoud Assar.
All right, Mahmoud Assar, good job.
Did do. Yeah.
Yeah, I felt
Yeah.
it was very reminiscent of like comics that we grew up with.
I think so, yeah.
I was just happy to see a Marvel comic that didn't have King of Black in it. Because let me tell you, I've been looking through Marvel comics, and King of Black has gone on too long.
Yeah.
Like it needs to be done.
Okay, so you remember Daredevil that we read last week?
Yes.
That doesn't affect the King of Black storyline at all.
Yeah,
It
and
was
that's
just
what I'm
done in a bubble.
finding. It's just like, oh yeah, and we threw King of Black over into this comic, just so you know, if you like King of Black, maybe check this out too. It's like,
Yeah.
No, just write an interesting story.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Okay, you know what's kind of cool is I didn't notice this thumbing through the first time. A couple pages in, they have like an overview where they have the artist and all that, and they give the characters one more page to the right. Yeah, and they outline the characters. They show a little icon of who they are, Wolverine, Darwin, and Sync, and they give a really short but concise preview of what is going on. That's a great way to get people, picking up the rest of the series, I think.
Yeah, it's also a good way to kind of say who were the creators of the comic. On the other side of the panel, because I think this sometimes takes up a full page in the beginning of the comic.
Yeah, it's true.
And this way, at least you're into it, so you kind of not going to drop off the comic. But
yeah, I kind of thumbed through this at first when we were going through it, going, oh, okay, skip this big white page. But actually, I like the way they did this.
Yeah. Okay, so scores. Now we all have a hard on for this comic.
I'm gonna let Rob answer that.
The score. Let's see.
Rob always goes first.
Based on Marcel's description of how you feel about the comic.
About oh no, I'm not gonna say it. I am thinking. I agree with Murray. I liked the art style of this a lot. I have found that I did read the whole thing. Like I said, I'll probably go back and at least try and at least a couple issues to try and figure out why this happened. And I'd probably read the next one. It'll greatly depend on what I see in the other ones.
I think
when I go back.
Unfortunately, this comes out of Power of X.
Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah.
You're gonna kind of head down that dark alley.
Yeah. 3.5.
Yeah, I'm square in the 3 area. Let me put it this way: I'm not afraid of reading another X-Men comic.
Yeah,
when I see Future State now, I kind of start convulsing.
Yeah, you cringe a bit. You're like, oh no,
right.
Okay.
Yeah, like this will make me expect a 3 next time, versus Future State, where reading it, I always expect a 0.
Or a crapshoot. You're hoping for something. You're never gonna get it. Nope.
It's been like 3 or 4 tries now.
Yeah.
Like I've lost all hope.
I've read quite a few of the Future State comics now, and it's kind of like, okay, we misstepped. I'll look forward to what do they got coming? Infinite something's coming up.
Read the Wonder Woman one. It's an absolute disaster.
Oh, but which Wonder Woman?
Both.
The Immortal Wonder Woman, or is that something else?
Yeah.
Wow.
That too, because there's Immortal Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman,
and Nebula,
and
or whatever her name is.
Nubia. Yeah, I almost
very racist.
I almost read that. Because that's in this the most recent batch of comics that we've got. I was gonna look at that. What's really funny is the exact thing that I said would turn me off about reading it. Actually,
not enough nudity
makes me want to read it. No, it's the cosplay covers. No, that's how you know if the comic is solely about boobs, it has a cosplay cover variant.
Yes.
Yep.
And
every single one.
If you get it signed by the cosplayer, it goes up like 40 times in value.
That's not surprising.
From $1 to 40.
Still impressive.
Yeah. Anyways, 3.5 for me. Like you said, you got a 3.
I would say that too. I would say 3.5. It was a really neat looking comic, and the few things I read about it made me feel like, okay, I could probably go back and read this, but I don't know that I would read the ones that came before it. If I felt like I would read the ones that came before it, I would have probably rated this a 4.
I actually think that this sets up the new Wolverine very well. Like, it left me with a good impression of
the new Wolverine like her story?
Yeah.
Oh,
no.
okay.
I mean the character Wolverine.
I see.
That's new and female. I thought she was very Wolverine-y instead of like trying to be Jean Grey or something.
She was Wolverine, all right.
Wolverine.
She definitely didn't fall over or get caught enough to be Jean Grey.
Right.
She
saves herself. Wolverine saves Jean Grey. Jeez.
All right, who's next? What you got on the next tab? Nuclear Family.
Nuclear Family or the really long Generations Forged?
Let's
Probably
do Nuclear Family. I think we should do Nuclear Family last, actually, in this particular case.
Okay. I kind of agree.
Yeah.
Okay. Generations Forged.
So okay. I have something like immediately to say about this just before we get into
So do I.
I liked the art style, but it has that problem. Time. Yes, it has that problem where the characters' faces and stuff were just not consistent.
Well, look at the
but I did really like.
Yeah. Go ahead. Sorry. I'm so angry about this.
I never saw this. Go ahead. No, go for it. Now
so
that
this is the first page you see when you come in. It is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 different artists on 80 pages.
Oh, that's what they're showcasing here. Wow.
11 artists, 3 writers, and 1 colorist. Which is
crayons are now empty.
Hi-Fi is a conglomerate of people that they farm out the work to. And then you have Tom the letterer. So the lettering was probably very consistent throughout the comic.
That's why on the front it says art by such and more.
Yeah. It ticks me off so much.
Okay. You want to know what's really terrible? The statement that I said earlier about how I like the art style, but the faces aren't consistent. That was actually about a different comic that I confused this with. That comment was actually meant for Future State House of L #1.
Oh yeah.
But you know what's funny is your comment makes sense because of how many artists there are in this.
Right.
Yeah, it's because this is, and now that makes more sense. I'm thinking about it. This is a bunch of short little kind of short stories that end up combining in to be one at the very end.
I believe that this book was talk about a Generations Forged. I'm gonna look it up, but I think this was a $9 comic.
Oh boy.
Okay. So they're giving a lot of content and they're saying this is top grade content.
Right.
So I believe like Marcel, I think you described it earlier. There's kind of this guy who's like trying
$10. It's $10.
Like sucking in time or something to make his timeline the best that it can possibly be.
Yeah, I think it's like a Watcher situation. This comic is clearly for the fans, right? They're like, the fans love these moments in DC's history, so let's just talk about them. And the first page is in black and white, which is ridiculous. Anyhow.
It's kind of interesting, that they decided to do that.
It's all for the shock of the first page that's in full color.
And well, they're showing that, it might be the next page. I don't remember. I didn't notice. But they have some color panel there when he uses like a rewind time power.
Yeah.
And so it's still, I don't know what's going on. I haven't read this comic yet, but it's like, oh, that's kind of interesting.
Here's the thing that's weird about it is that it's really pretty, right? It's like black and white with a bit of blue tint and then the magic. But there's no way that the next set of artists will mimic this. Ever.
Sure. Right. So, so what's the point, you're saying?
Just thrown away. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so
Yeah, so
Yeah.
he's adjusting and messing with timelines to try and make sure that everything that happens in his life is kind of perfect, or the way he wants it to go.
Yeah. And I think that he views the major moments in history that are on the cover as breaking those moments, and so he's cutting the ties with those moments and undoing them.
Wow.
Oh, look, new artist.
And then boom, Starfire's in color. And immediately blowing things up.
Even if that girl right
accidentally
next to
hurting
her
her
is wearing a black and white outfit.
Yeah.
Miss Dr. Light, something like that. Miss Light or Dr.
Yeah, I
Light,
think so.
is her name.
Dr. Light.
Yeah, she created Mega Man.
Yeah.
Yes.
All things equal, yeah. Where's my phone?
This guy in the like jorts that he made himself.
Yes.
Yeah.
Was clearly important to what's going on.
Kamaji?
Yeah. Kamandi.
Yeah, I have a lot of his comics from he's like very
really?
early DC. Yeah.
Is he always wearing jorts?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes, and he always has a gun, even though like he's in the middle of a forest and it's like 1700s. He's got a gun.
Yeah, and he always like through this whole comic, he seems so bored and confused about why he's there.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone's confused about why they're there, but he's the
I'm
only one that
confused
seems
why they're there.
genuinely bored.
I'm bored and confused as to why they're there.
Well,
I feel
because
like
they're on Krypton.
yes, they are.
Yeah.
I feel like
how did that happen?
I feel like Kumadi could be the new Aquaman, like the out of water, in the water Aquaman.
Sure.
Yeah, because out of water Aquaman, is still just like a strong dude.
So this is my least favorite version of Zod.
I was surprised to turn the page and see someone shouting that was General Zod.
He feels like a mailman.
Yeah, like a mailman, train captain.
He's obviously a general. I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a big POW sign on his chest.
It's only slightly better than his outfit in Superman 2, where he was obviously wearing a robe that he found.
He did find it, yes.
And then Jor-El shows up and he's like, "No one's ever told me that these colors don't go together, so I'm gonna continue wearing them."
I got dressed really fast in that guy's black and white world. Is everything okay?
There's very little that could have made Zod's outfit look better.
He might be,
and it's Jor-El's outfit. Yeah, she's colorblind.
Yeah, everything looks like the same color to him.
This is the panel that should have been in black and white.
They're like, "We can help your friend." And Starfire's like, "Okay, cool. I'll go find Kamandi."
And then she says, "Where are you from?" And she says, "Earth." And he goes, "Never heard of it." That sounds like a dumb planet that someone sent their child to.
So this is
suddenly everything's different.
Everything got better.
I don't know that I agree.
The drawing style is completely different.
Yeah.
How does metal bend that way?
How about some help, kid? Who could Kid be? Oh, it's Superboy in his Jungle Mobile. Murray, you missed out on this one.
He's basically Peter Pan.
Right. He's the Lost Boys.
All of them.
Yeah.
What?
Something that confused me about this. Okay, so they shoot this net and they capture this dinosaur thing. And then they have they end up having a conversation about how, okay, we'll relocate this dinosaur tomorrow. It's like, hold up, are they got trapped here in the prehistoric times, and their first thought was, you know what, we could probably help the ecosystem here a little bit.
Gotta clean up the dangerous animals. I like that they almost close enough to kiss.
Yeah, well,
He's
they
like
had
whispering in his ear.
They had to both get close enough to be in that same tiny panel. Oh, I am like one page ahead of you. Okay.
So Superboy has no problem holding a stake that Steel hammers into the ground, but then a claw punches him to the other side of the planet.
Yeah, a dinosaur claw can take out Superboy, apparently.
Well, they do explain that a little bit. He doesn't have any powers here.
Well, then he should be dead.
The sun doesn't exist or something.
It's awfully bright for the sun not existing.
I forget
That's
what
the moon, Marcel.
What do they say? You got to be careful.
There's no yellow sun near this
planet. Yeah,
Huh.
There we go.
Wait, I assumed. Oh, interesting. Okay. The scene where he comes in on his retardomobile.
Jungle Bite.
Superboy with the boy in bold.
In bold. That's the letterer living up to his name. That's the part
he wanted to emphasize.
Superboy! Yeah. Okay, the panel at the bottom on the left side. Nice shooting, that panel. It looks like he's actually dropping down out of the sky and landing. But he's actually just stepping out of his Superboy mobile.
Yeah.
I thought he was landing because I didn't realize that he didn't have his powers.
He's still tried to make it look like he has powers.
I mean, look how his cape is like out of control. It's like some speed.
Yeah, this also like it's not the first time they've done this. That panel, it ought to be like, go back that panel in the middle bottom where they're almost kissing.
Yeah,
it ought to be. I've had enough practice against these lizards by now. So they've been doing this a while, relocating lizards apparently,
and then kissing afterwards.
Apparently, it's been months. In one of the panels, it says, or they feel like they've been doing it for months.
Like it's been months.
It's really hard to kind of want to read through this whole thing.
It is.
I'm having fun thumbing through it, but yes, it's hard to say I want to sit down and read every panel of this.
My favorite panel in this comic book is on the next page, on the bottom right. His face there is wrong.
Wow. He's got the Henry Cavill like double vision situation.
Yeah, it's like they were trying to CG a mustache off of him.
It's like, Steel, is it okay that I can look at two places at once?
I thought you said I didn't have superpowers.
It's like, that's the one power you've retained.
Look at those fat chickens.
I know. Aren't they on an alien planet?
Cluck.
What the cluck?
They look so mad.
That angry cluck.
Like, if this chicken was to be voiced by an actor, it would be Danny DeVito.
It's Danny DeVito and Billy Crystal right there.
Clack.
Clack.
Spent more time talking about that chicken. This is.
Yeah,
I did read this whole thing. I still had a hard time caring about what was going on.
Can't you just genius us out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah, you made a hammer, right?
Yeah.
Genius. What is okay? I know very little about the whole this whole where Superman died and 1 billion people took his place.
Yes.
What is Steel's deal? Like
John Henry Irons?
Is he made out of metal?
No,
or
that's
is that
just
a
a suit? It's a suit.
What's
it's like basically it's a steel worker who Iron Manned his way into being Superman.
But
Okay.
but they never graduated his suit up. Like Iron Man has progressively got better. He's stuck with the
this
same
is like
suit.
that original.
And it's more like plated skin.
It's like the cave suit.
Right. And it's got no technology. And I still don't understand what the pipe is that goes from his waist to his heel.
It's
Hydraulic fluid? Maybe?
So
It's so
main-
that he can pee. The pee goes and it comes out the foot so that he doesn't pee his pants.
Got a very stinky foot at the end of the day.
Well, it's fine. He can kick it at people.
Yeah, it's basically an Iron Man suit, and I don't really understand why and how they just throw him into Superman comics, because he will randomly appear
Yeah.
in Superman comics and be like, "Oh, I guess this is the one where Steel exists."
And he's undescribably strong. Like, it doesn't make sense that a regular man who worked in this, it's almost like just whoever created him who had great envy towards people that worked in the iron factories and was like, they must be super strong. Here's my problem with this bottom panel. If you were a bad guy and your specialty was punching people hard, and you saw a guy with a Superman S on his chest that was blue and red, you would punch that guy as hard as you can. You try to dislocate his jaw off his body.
Yeah.
You want it to be like the Rock'em Sock'em Robots result.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
but somehow a Superboy with no powers survives a punch like that.
Yeah, but that his power is to be as strong as the person fighting him. They explain that later.
Is that right?
And so he picked Superboy because he's like, I'm gonna fight you because then I'll be really strong. And then Superboy was like, well, nuts to you. I don't have any powers right now.
So you're the
punches him
strength of a
back.
12-year-old.
Don't expect
He's
that
like,
you're gonna.
in fact, I'm feeling very insecure right now.
And he's like, no, now I'm sad. Don't expect
No.
for them to explain that anytime soon. We have to get to Sinestro first.
A lot of my power is in my adolescent body. Enjoy.
I
It
love
also
that
itches in
Steele's
places
been
that
waiting
shouldn't.
for them. I've been
Yeah.
waiting for them. Really? You knew this was going to happen? So then they
So yeah,
like-
we have the black and white again with the powers, but a worse drawer. Like the people's faces are falling off their face.
Also, the text bubbles aren't completely circular. Is this like a callback to doing it with pen and ink or something?
Like overlaying panels.
Yeah, like overlaying panels. You kind of see the sketch of the
Yeah.
square going beyond. Maybe
It
it's a
could be.
style decision.
It's a single panel. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
then it's gone.
I mean, it's a single page. Yeah.
So they're calling back to that scene from the beginning or series of events, and then jumping to another
Yes.
timeline.
Yeah, and I think this is meant to be a big reveal. Like you're like, oh, this is gonna be Hal Jordan, or it's gonna be, and then you end up
Pool party.
with Purple Dude.
Sinestro's like,
Yeah.
why wasn't I invited?
wow, 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 wow.
Yes, he's got the colors of Wario. Why not make him Wario?
Yeah, so Sinestro's there.
He picks the weakest weapon, the Aquaman trident, to use.
Yes. And then the monkey brain shows up.
Yes.
Ultra Humanite.
Yes.
Obviously they picked him for his popularity.
Oh.
And then on the next panel, another winner,
Oh yeah,
Booster Gold, shows up.
you have to say it like.
Booster
Like-
Gold.
Okay, that's a good way to say it. I was gonna say it like what's his face says velour. Booster Gold.
Oh yeah.
Booster Gold.
Uh,
Booster Gold.
Zap
Zap
Brannigan is the
Brannigan.
what's his face. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. You know,
Charlie came running.
looking through this a second
someone said.
time definitely reminds me how long this was and how long it felt.
Yes.
I think I didn't realize how long it was, and as I was going through it, I kept expecting the stop. You know, I kept expecting the next time on Dragon Ball Z, and it never came, except for like forever later.
Someone's at my front door.
No,
Is it Charlie?
Are they dropping off micro machines?
No, they have papers.
Like comics?
Writing something. No, not those kind of comics. Okay, sorry. Yes, this is a very long comic.
Yeah, because we're about a third of the way through it.
And this is how long they want their standard comics to be, by the way.
No.
And they want them to have multiple artists on it.
Wow.
So if you drew this comic, you have to split the income from this comic with every single one of those artists.
Jesus. Yeah. Yeah, I'm like clicking through it here.
Yeah.
Trying to pick out something that okay, this is interesting. So Dr. Light is like, you're right. Krypton is gonna get destroyed. It has a couple weeks, maybe. And they're like, oh no, but my baby.
My baby.
And so she decides to absorb some of the red sun so that Krypton can have a few more months so that Superman can be born.
So, Murray, you owe Superman's existence to someone called Dr. Light.
Who also created Mega Man. So in turn also created Superman.
Okay, I'm okay with this.
Yeah. I was going to rate this much higher, and now that I'm going through it again,
for me, it's going to depend on if they wrap this up.
They don't.
Oh, well then, okay. Because going through this much of back and forth and jumping around in time, you'd assume this is an all-inclusive story.
Like a one-shot.
Yeah. Like, this would be fun to tell. Let's tell it. It's a big book.
Wow, I'm getting the end. I'm like, now remembering what happened at the end, but
yeah, they basically all come together and go, wow, that was weird.
That's how every comic should end, really.
Yeah, they defeat this guy.
Yeah.
Because they send old-timey Batman in there because they're like, you're the best suited for this.
Look how big this organization of heroes is to beat this guy, Howie Mandel. He's like, hey, everybody.
My favorite. Oh, God. I was going to say my favorite panel is like the last one where Batman's running at the camera, but
look how weird Superboy looks in this bottom panel.
Yeah, he got all wiggly.
Yeah, he's like Mr. Fantastic.
He was secretly Plastic Man.
Plastic Man.
Or Elongated Man. It just depends on what flavor of stretchy person you like. Do you like funny? Do you like takes themselves too seriously? And so they decide to fight him. They fight him on the moon.
It's very strange. It's just a strange comic.
Yeah.
And then he grows really big, and so they in turn grow really big and punch him. And then a bunch more heroes show up.
Yeah, they're like, thanks, everyone. And so then they take everyone home. They take them back to their
Dominion.
timeline.
I mean, Robin shows up. I mean, Robin. Stupid
Well, yeah, because
Robin.
they
Teen
take
Titans.
they take Starfire back to 1983, and she's like, "Oh, I'm happy to see Robin," which said no one ever. And for some reason, like Sinestro. I don't know. Marcel, what was wrong with this comic? This is the best panel.
Yes, that's a great one. Wow. You can just hear the theme song. All of the theme songs playing over one another.
I was gonna say.
It's like three generations of each of these people.
I love how thrilled Hawkman is in the bottom left.
Yeah.
Brum, 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 brum.
That's the first time Hawkman has ever reminded me of Bird Person from Rick and Morty.
Got disheveled Green Lantern look.
No, that's not Sinestro.
Nope.
Probably supposed to be Hal Jordan.
All right. This comic made no sense.
Yeah.
Okay, it actually did make some sense.
Oh.
It just was badly executed.
And was huge.
Yeah. My attention span cannot hold on for that long.
Yeah. Maybe I would have done better had I known it was going to be really long. But I didn't. So like I kept waiting for it to end and it didn't, and that just made it worse.
So the last page is titled The Beginning?
Yes.
Yeah, you're supposed to look at that first and then go back.
I read it wrong.
Look at this tiger guy.
You know, he needs. That's after the Great Disaster, where cat people are real. This, unfortunately,
yes,
this is gonna get a 1-5.
Whoa!
From me, it was so much. It's just, I enjoyed a lot of the art style. I think there's some cool single panels, but the inconsistency, because of now that I know that that's due to there being like 70 artists.
Each character had a unique artist.
I don't know. Something about it just dropped my interest.
Yeah, it's kind of like voice actors, Marcel. Like, oh, you dropped Batman.
Yeah, exactly. You took up too much room with your Batman. Well, I have to boost the gold in you somewhere. Put him in the background.
I could be convinced to give this a 2, but
I'm gonna give it a 2.
I would say, yeah. I would upgrade it to 2.
It's a horrible comic. But there's a lot of it.
Yeah, it's kind of like when I go to Hometown Buffet.
It kind of felt like
I know the food's not going to be great, but there's a lot.
There's so much of
the Justice League cartoon. There were like so many heroes that there was no way they could focus on any of them. So it just ended up being a story about Batman and Superman at the end of the day.
Sure, it was like, oh, Batman's going to go do something, and he's also taking these two people.
right.
Or like,
and 90% of the time they're not in the scene.
Like, yeah, I love that Superman was in. If you really look at it, Superman was in so few episodes of that show.
Yeah,
and I think it's because that show weirdly emphasized the point that if Superman was there all the time, why did he need anyone else?
There would be no problem.
Right, because he can't talk to dolphins. That's why.
Right. It's like if Superman's there, like, what's the Green Arrow doing? Like,
what was it? It was in the Green Arrow TV show that Flash showed up and Green Arrow shot him twice in the back.
Yes. Well, he shot him. I don't remember if it was in the back or not.
Yeah, it was in the back. He shot him successfully, and that was a big deal. That's what I imagine the Justice League tower is. It's just them putting pranks on each other.
Yeah.
It's like, well, you can't die, so I'm just going to lop your head off. Prank, Just kidding.
As long as you shout prank.
It's all fun and games until someone tricks Superman into killing Lois Lane.
Right. Or vice versa.
And then we get Injustice.
Yep.
Okay, so I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yep.
Yeah,
Right.
I would agree with that. I would actually like to see some of these panels, for this one, for example, and this isn't the only one, but the final panel. If I could see this not drawn by a million different artists, but maybe drawn by like an Alex Ross or someone, be a very cool take.
I think you'd lose something if you had to be drawn by Alex Ross.
Well, I think it would push him to his style is, not comic booky, right? It's almost photorealistic, it's painterly. To challenge him with this and say it has to be comic booky at the edges.
He would
they're
just say
so
no.
old. Well, that's why it would be interesting, I think, is to, if he was able to take on that task and then it morphs into this kind of painterly photorealistic look in the center, would be kind of neat. But I like the idea of these kind of panels. There's a few of them in there, but I'm not sure I enjoy the execution of the panels.
So some of the artists redid certain pages. So it looks like Mike Perkins did all the black and white scenes. Dan Jerkins did the last few pages. Dan Jerkins is an amazing artist. And he's been doing it for like 30 years. So, all right. 2-2-2, or 1.5-2-2. I think for me, if it didn't have as many characters in it showing off their powers, like if they were all Superboy, I would not score it as high as a 2.
Okay.
Okay, last one.
I'm going to step away for a second because I've got to pee crazy bad.
Okay, I'm gonna stop the recording.
Okay, cool. I'll be here.
We'll all pause like this.
I hate that my saw hasn't stopped recording yet. Look at all the cool stuff we're doing.
It's some cool pause faces.
Wait, what? What is going on? Where is this thing?
I'm gonna wait. I'm
We're
gonna pee all over the place. It's gonna be amazing.
Where is the panel? Oh, there it is.
Oh yeah, your monitor setup is huge.
Right.
Yeah.
In a long time.
So the people that were hanging outside my house, it was like for someone else. They left a note that was like, "Please call us, Eva." Like, okay, Eva.
Should probably give out their phone number on here, so in case Eva's watching. No,
that's downstairs. It's 555 5555.
Great.
My headphones came.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, you have to let us know how those,
you want to use them?
Work.
No.
Okay, cool.
He's like, and I never will.
Yeah. They're just for my collection.
They're just for show. All right. We have more Whistle Pig going down Murray's gullet.
Oh, we're recording. Okay.
Yes. Yes, we are.
Yeah, we recorded the second I said I've never had to pee so bad.
I felt like the viewers would like to have a complete story arc.
Some closure, yeah.
For Rob's pee.
Yes.
Okay, share screen. This guy. Wait, did it do it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, the green box isn't there. That's why I'm wondering. Okay. Nuclear family. What makes you think? What do you think of when you think of nuclear family?
Fallout.
I think of Fallout.
I did.
At least it's number one.
Think of Fallout. Yeah.
So this is a comic that I told Rob that he would like. So he might not like it.
No, you were correct. I actually did enjoy this.
It had a very strange story arc.
Correct. That's accurate.
So we have one artist.
Oh my gosh.
What a novel idea.
Amazing.
How will I know who's drawing each page then?
We also have one writer.
Hey,
one writer per panel though, right?
What a novel idea.
So I thought, so it was Sputnik Year, whatever it's called. I thought that it was a pretty boring comic at first.
Yeah, it started off very much just like, hey, this is what life was like in the
70s, 60s. Oh, the cars.
57.
50s.
50s.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Milwaukee 57.
Yeah.
I actually liked that the guy was smoking. Because I think when I think of the 50s and 60s, I think everyone was smoking, like even on TV and like media and stuff.
Even in cartoons.
Yeah. I like the style, even though it was kind of some of these comics make me feel like they've taken photographs and cartoonized them. Remember back in the day when you used to put a filter on a photo and it looked like there was a cartoon? Kind of feels like that almost.
Definitely feels like that to me. I think it might be the angles, like someone drew the scene and they took photographs and popped people in there, but they're not standing at the right angle.
Oh, interesting. Yeah.
It's almost like the background is one panel and they've laid on top people panels. That'll
all get fixed in the apocalypse.
You'd hope so.
Oh.
There's actually
it definitely works better when they're not standing on the ground in those scenes.
And there's a panel near the end that really shows off what you just said. Like it looks like someone drew the background and then someone tried to copy the person into it at the right angle.
It's like how cartoons were made back in the day.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So interesting. He's kind of a war veteran, I guess, but he was just kind of a radio guy.
Yeah.
We talking about the guy who's selling the car or the guy who's buying it?
The short guy or the tall guy?
The guy with the glasses.
Oh, okay.
So I guess the short guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he like sells the car to the people and they're like, thanks. He takes his convertible home. Yeah. It was kind of slow at first. I wondered, I mean, everything was kind of normal.
There's normal life, right?
Until the Fire Nation attacked.
Right.
Pretty much. Like he goes home, his teenage daughter is smoking, and she's like crap, my dad's home.
I sleep with his boss all the time.
Yeah, he's like, give me those cigarettes. Where am I? I think I'm ahead of you. Oh no, I'm on the same panel. Same page. Kid, and he's like, I have a gun.
I want Rob to read comics to me. I've decided.
I want Rob to write comics.
I'll get right on that.
So then he kind of goes downstairs and you realize that this is not a normal guy. Like you can't spell the word click.
Oh. It's like this light bulb's off. It's spelling the word click with a K.
Click. Yeah, so you kind of get the sense that he's not your average Joe. Now, there's no such thing as superheroes in this comic world. In Aftershock, they don't make superhero comics or movies, thankfully.
Yeah.
This is kind of an interesting sense of urgency they're building up here. he goes down to check, who knows what. Maybe this is the kind of thing he's looking for. And it's
yeah, kind of, because he's like, oh, he kind of goes down there and he's like, hey, I got a new antenna. He says I should have a bigger range. I want to see what I can hear. And then all of a sudden, like,
and he's like, nothing, like almost disappointed, like I should be able to hear something interesting. And then just going outside, he hears this. It's like, that's way too local.
I like the neighbors like, hey, Tim. What's going on?
Tim, I was just out watering my lawn.
Tim, I was standing in your driveway for some reason. Boom.
Bill kind of looks like like if Andy Richter and Conan O'Brien had a kid.
I feel like the guy that came up with the names of these characters, Tim and Bill, have hung out in California for way too long.
Emphasizing that they are normal dudes with names like Tim and Bill.
Yeah, Bill and Tim's Excellent Adventure.
Yeah. Bill and Tim's Wasteland Adventure.
Okay, this is a little off topic here. I watched a 10 Things You Didn't Know About Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Okay.
And like it's based on the theoretic life of the writers or the directors that directed it, right? But they had another friend called Bob. But Bob didn't want to be in the limelight, so he faded away, right? But Bob is the guy that guides them. Like he owns the elevator. I mean the telephone booth. Bob with the glasses.
Oh yeah.
That's Bob. So this guy the whole time goes, so there isn't a Bob in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure because of this. You son of a... Anyhow. That was a terrible story.
Yeah, well...
I give it a 2 out of 5.
Okay, all right, cool.
It got better because of how it ended.
The self-judgment?
Yes.
Oh yeah, this was the page I had trouble with.
Okay, so Rob doesn't understand why a child, when he gets scared, will sneak away from his mother to go find his father.
Well, that I get, but his father put him there. His father was like, go into the basement. Like, I'm going to go check what's going on.
The kid's like 5 years old.
Yeah, I know. It's obviously because, I mean, he's a dumb kid.
And you had a terrible childhood.
And he goes back in. And...
Yes.
Okay, so then he's like, okay, Daddy. And he's like, oh, I thought where this was going to go.
Right.
When it was like, oh, boom, boom. And the kid's not, I thought the kid was going to die. He doesn't.
Right. Well, he's the most protected out of all of them. He has
he has a helmet.
Right.
Yeah. So they all get together in the basement.
And they pray, which is a very 1957
very much
thing
so.
to do.
And
like
his radio starts beeping.
Yes. As the bomb gets closer.
Yeah.
So that's how that works.
Yeah. Yes. Apparently the bomb drops right on his house or like nearby.
Yeah, that's what they say is you never hear the one that hits you. So
yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
don't worry about that.
His house is the blue one.
You never hear it beeping.
His house is the blue house. So yes.
So it blows up, apparently. And then the next panel, he's like,
"Man, I got woozy from that.
What
prayer.
happened?" He's like, I prayed too much and I fell asleep.
So they know that it's not normal for them to be okay. Like the mom's like, we're okay somehow.
Yeah. And he's like, I want you all to stay here, which means his son will probably run up there. And he's like, what? There's no damage to the house. But he opens the door and like everything's gone
except for their house.
Except for their house. I mean, there's nothing within.
Yeah, as far as you can see.
And then these guys are like, "Commie."
Wait a minute. How long was he knocked out for? Hold on a second. Wait. So yet again, nothing on the cover happens?
Yes, that's correct. Unless
I gotta look at the cover.
Unless the people surrounding him are his family members.
This is an intervention.
Yeah, anyways, next issue. Please don't shoot me. I have a ring.
Not a ring that can save me or anything.
Don't worry.
It's just a regular ring.
The next page is the real winner.
The True American Guide to Communism.
Do you know what a communist looks like? How about what a communist sounds like or smells like?
No.
Smells like pierogies in the morning.
Make sure you can identify the language of a communist. And it goes on like,
oh,
it is a literal guide to how to identify a communist. Oh, I'm gonna be honest. There's like a mini comic in the back.
Oh yeah.
Which I didn't even read or knew existed until just now.
Wait, a communist?
Yeah. I don't think it's a communist
identifies
comic.
himself with hobbies such as folk dancing and folk music, but as long as you don't call him folk, you're gonna be fine, I guess. Oh, did I say I meant regular dancing and regular music?
I mean,
okay.
Group music and group dancing. I thought this comic was unremarkable.
I didn't even read it. I didn't know it existed until just now. I'm gonna be honest. I probably won't go back and read it.
It's basically angry Harry Potter.
Okay.
In the realm called Earth. Yeah, this is getting a little weird. And this is a comic book.
I kind of like this in the back.
Yeah.
Where they gave a little write-up on each creator.
Oh, cool. Nice.
That's
okay,
it.
I will hold back from giving my thing first, my opinion first, since I keep doing that on accident, essentially.
Okay. Does Marie want to go first?
Sure. I mean, I didn't read it until just now, so I guess my fresh impressions are, although I was really unimpressed with how it started, I was pretty intrigued by how it ended. It didn't seem too long. It didn't seem too wordy. It kind of like unfolded in a very, maybe expected way. Just from looking at the cover, you're like, okay, things aren't nuclear, and they're going to the regular house. Nuclear is going to happen. Nuclear happened, but then there's all these questions as to how in the world did his house survive, and what's the insurance company going to say about it? I mean, really, there's all kinds of important questions. So anyway,
questions.
Yes, I
like
would
crabs.
say I actually am going to read the next cover, the next issue. They got me, So I would call it. I didn't really appreciate the art style. I don't think the one panel that looked good was if you took those squares off the screen.
Right. This boom was very.
The boom is a great shot.
With them in
feel
motion?
the action. Yeah. So I would. That actually the art style knocks it down a little bit for me. So I'm going to say 3.5.
Okay. I'm going to give it a 3 because I'm a negative person in general. I agree that this kind of scene is the scene I was looking for in a comic book. I felt like they punch. Like if you read these two horrible panels up here, they're meant to be like, oh, this is how the average American views sirens, right? It's like, oh, there's no big deal. Sure. And this quake is happening, but we'll be okay, everybody.
Right.
But it just lacked punch. Like it lacked a way to bring it home. And I feel like that's the first part of this comic book was, and it makes me kind of worried about the next few. Are they just gonna kind of meander through life? Like, oh zombies again. But I will definitely read the next one. I hope that in the next comic they kill one of his children.
Isn't that what you hated about Maestro?
Rob, my hypocrisy is mine alone.
I read Maestro too.
Oh.
Yeah. For
so I give it a 3.
Yeah, I'm with you. 3 was what I was going to give it as well. I will read the next one. I'm interested in where it goes. Art style was at least unique. I don't think it's like my favorite, but at least it stood out to me. Yeah, and this was, I think, despite me giving it a 3, which makes it lower than I think the 3.5 I gave the X-Men comic, I actually think this was my favorite of the week. As far as how much I enjoyed reading it.
Yeah,
but
I agree with that.
I want to see where they go with it.
I thought it was a very easy read.
Sure.
Like the speech bubbles or whatever made sense to be where they are. It wasn't excessive.
Sometimes expected is good in a comic. You know, you want to buy in on what you think is going to happen, and you either get that and a twist. But if you don't get that or a twist, you just, why did I read this comic?
Yeah. And then if they go completely opposite, you end up with a future state where you don't understand how any of it connects to each other. Although, I mean, they've sold a lot of future state comics.
Sure.
And people are talking about it, whether negatively or positively, people are talking about it. So maybe it was a success for them, which I think is a sadder deal.
Yeah.
Okay, so
right.
If I learned anything, it's over here. All right. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
And we're back.
So that was good. Nuclear Family, yes. I think, won out.
Yeah. For sure.
Generations, good if you want a really long comic that confuses the heck out of you because the artwork.
Man, the cover makes it look like it would be such a great comic too.
Maybe the second one would be better. I mean, what I was hoping for was like,
or longer at least, with more artists.
I was hoping for like this generation's Batman to interact with last generation's Batman with the generation before that Batman.
Oh, that would have been interesting.
Because generations, right? But instead we got this generation of all the characters and Batman. And then we got X-Men 18, which was nothing to write home about, but it was okay.
Yeah.
Better than reading a Future State comic.
Yeah. Very true.
So next time, I don't know if we're going to be using Zoom.
That's fine.
So I'll let you know what we're going to be using because I want to be able to place your heads on the screen. Yeah,
we can just move around. Just tell us.
No. That's the opposite of what I want to do.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it sounds good. Yeah, we'll figure something out.
And then, are you guys interested in doing reviews of like? Yeah. I was thinking something that people aren't really doing now is like episodes of cartoon shows. So we could do like episode 1 of Silverhawks.
Or starts with a great theme song. We already know that.
But from there, it just turns into Thundercats in space.
Pretty much.
Just the sword is a guitar.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'll figure out what we can do. That might be fun.
Cool.
But I think the whole comic review thing is working well. So we'll continue to do that. And one day we'll be able to do this in person
Just sprinkle in some
on a
goodies
couch.
elsewhere.
Yes, with snacks and booze and all the good stuff.
You have to find a very strong couch.
Pizza.
2 couches, 3 couches.
I might need my own couch. I ordered McDonald's the other day at 11:30 in the evening.
Yeah, I ordered 7-Eleven at the same time.
Yeah.
I got a Slurpee and bags of chips.
I got a Shamrock Shake, 2 McChickens, 10 spicy nuggets, and fries.
That sounds amazing.
I've never been a person to eat late at night until now. Like, it's like, hey, you're really fat now, so you might as well eat at night.
Wait, is that who's telling you that? Yourself?
Yeah.
Or is it just the convenience of a single button reward?
I don't know.
I'm afraid if I order something that late that I'll be too tired by the time it shows up.
I don't know. I almost thought that, but they brought it in like 15 minutes flat.
Yeah, when it's that late, it comes really quick.
Yeah.
Oh, don't tell me that.
All right, I have to jump off to make another call.
Okay, bye guys.
So, anyways, see you guys later.
All right, see ya.